Hey there, everybody. Oh, I got to move my mic closer. Hey there, everybody. Welcome on in. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back into Zero Hour. I'm your host, Extra Zero, and I'll be running you through all the best Transformers news of the week. And yeah, that's what we do over here on the channel every Tuesday at 9 Eastern. We run through Transformers news and discuss what's going on. So, welcome on in. If you're watching me here live on YouTube, do a couple things for me. One, smash that like button if you like what I'm doing over here, because it helps me out in the algorithm. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm going to be working on some extra content for the channel. So if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully tonight's the night that I earn your subscription if I haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you can get alerts when I do have extra content up on the channel. I know Lance and I are planning our next ranking video, and that's going to be the original Beast Wars figures. So we'll be doing the 1996 releases. That's going to be a ton of fun. I got to get with him and figure out when we're going to do that. If you're watching me on the replay, again, same thing applies. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe and ring that notification bell. But if you're watching me here live, pop into that live chat, because we've always got folks hanging out with us, and I'll be highlighting your comments throughout the course of the show, making you all a part of the conversation, because I like to know what you guys are thinking and feeling about what we're looking at on the show. Before we get into it, I do want to share out over on my good friend Mazza's channel, youtube.com at Mazza115. You can find his link down in the description below. I've got my link tree, and you can find his channel, and I am editing videos for him. So we recently did a long one, a nearly 45-minute Call of Duty 2-box challenge for Dare Rise, and a lot of memes, a lot of fun content in there, a lot of funny stuff too, but good video altogether. And I've been doing his intros, so did one today for the mini royale. So if you're into gaming content, if you know me over from Gronkin on Dogs, you probably already know Mazza. But if you're into gaming content, I'm doing the intros for him, and we're doing monthly meme videos with gameplay footage. So a lot of fun. Consider checking that out if that's your cup of tea. But if not, check out those meme videos, because a lot of work goes into them, and they are a lot of fun and very funny. So yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about this evening. I was like, yeah, it's kind of a slow news day. And then I just kept seeing stuff pop up and pop up and pop up. So before we get into it, before we say hi to chat, we go over what is my And this week's Figure of the Week is a relatively new release. It's a very new release. In fact, it's popping up in stores, but this was probably one of my most anticipated figures of 2025, and it did not disappoint, and that is the Age of the Primes Megatronus Prime. And this figure, man, I know a lot of people are excited for this guy. I know people have wanted a design just like this since Dreamwave for Megatronus the Fallen. And this just strikes all of the notes. I'm sure probably everybody in here has seen reviews of this guy. And this is just such a return to form for leader class Transformers. It's funny. I have a chat with a bunch of different people: Larkin's Lair, Patriot Prime, Deluxe, Kato, and Patriot Prime's like, yeah, this might be figure of the year. And I could not agree more with him. This thing is just such a contender. The flame effects are really good. I mean, they're just so well detailed. They could have just made these orange, but I love the gradient work. There's a lot of paint on him. He feels hefty. He feels solid. The transformation is simple and fun. I love the Requiem blaster. I just love how tactile this thing is. Let me take it off of his arm just to demonstrate. But I just love how this thing, like, of course, because I'm showing it off on stream, it doesn't want to open up, but how it just opens and extends, and you could take this barrel off and put it on the Requiem. There's just so many options with this guy, and this is just such a fun figure all around. Like, you give this giant blaster to have on his arm. The tank mode is just, a standard Age tank, but it works well enough. It especially looks awesome with those flame effects. So I'm sure everybody here probably is on the hunt for this guy if you haven't picked him up already, but gets a very, 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 very high recommend from me. I'm not gonna transform him, even though it's a simple transformation. I'm not gonna bother fiddling through the transformation on stream, but I love the fact that he even has wheels. I mean, you know, some of the Constructicons don't even have wheels. Some of the Studio series don't have wheels, but I love the fact they actually put wheels on them. This just feels like a really good high note for Age of the Primes. So if you see him, buy him on site. Especially check your Targets, because as we'll get to later, Target is doing a little bit of a sale this week. So if you're in the States, he is $38 there. So we'll go over that Target sale a little bit down the line in news, but just keep checking your Targets. That's where I found mine, and I was lucky enough to have the Target Circle deals on top of that. So very happy with my purchase. Had I picked him up for full price, I'd still be happy, but definitely recommend Megatronus Prime. So let's check in with chat before we get into news. Kicking things off, we got my boy Stunning and Brave Megatron. He's been crushing it with his art on his channel, and he's been doing some diorama backdrops. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And make sure you check out his channel. He does his live streams every now and then where he's doing drawings, be it Transformers or making backdrops for his displays. Good stuff. I try to drop in when I can, but it's always fun seeing somebody doing art. We got Sandro in here saying howdy. Good to see you, Sandro. And he also picked up he got his Onslaught on side. That's a great figure. Really like that figure. That's probably a contender for third-party figure of the year for me so far. We got Ultra Megatronus hanging out with us, and what is good, my friend? I hope everything is going smoothly. Yeah, it's been a good night. It's been a little cold and windy here where I'm at on the East Coast, but got a good walk in, and I'm just happy to be here, hanging out and chilling with all you fine people. Got Mario Roca coming in saying hello, Extra Zero. I've got you, guy. Good to see you, man. Oh, he says, see you got Age of the Primes Megatronus. I like it, but he's out of stock online. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be hard to find for a little bit, but the one thing about Wave 1 with any Transformers line is, I'm sure, give it a couple months and we'll be like, man, we're the new leaders. All I see is Megatronus on the shelf. So Wave 1 tends to stick around for a little bit. I'm sure everybody will find them, so just be patient, but check your Targets. Check your Targets if you got Targets. So let's get we'll start things off with a little bit of TFCon news. TFCon Toronto. I say it's a little far away, but it's not, because this year's been flying by. And we're already, into April, but got a guest announced for TFCon Toronto. So if you are in Canada or be able to make the convention, this was the first person I ever met at a TFCon, Neil Ross. So Neil Ross, one of the most prolific voices in Transformers. Everybody knows him primarily as Springer, but he was also the voice of Bone Crusher, Crosshairs, Point Blank, Six Shot, Slag, and just a really, really, really fun and funny dude. I really wish that I had gotten a photo op and an autograph. But like when I first went to TFCon, I was like there for the people and there for the toys. I was just like, oh, it's cool that the voice actors are here. But I hadn't bought a house yet, so I was like, yeah, where am I going to hang up these pictures and where am I going to hang up these autographs? At the time, I was just renting. So now that I've got like a house and a basement and everything, I'm like, yeah, I wish I had the picture with him. I wish I had the autograph, but yeah, he's doing a Q&A there. And I highly recommend if you have the opportunity to go, because the stories this guy has are just top tier. He tells one about Scatman Crothers and a big misunderstanding that happened during the recording of G1. So yeah, definitely, if not at TFCon Toronto, if he's ever at a TFCon, don't sleep on getting to one of his Q&As, or just going up to him, saying hi, give him a handshake and talking to him. Really cool dude, and can't say enough good things about him. So go ahead and we'll get into our official news here. Oh, and Stunning Brave saying Liege Maximo is the one that he's really excited to see from. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they cook out. I've been happy with all of the designs they've got so far. Though I hope they do something different with Vector, and I hope that Alpha Trion just isn't just a reissue of the Scourge retool they did for that 2-pack with Orion packs. I'd like to see something like a unique mold for Alpha Trion would be nice. So let's get into the official news, kicking things off, no pun intended, with this Kickstarter from Skybound. This is just incredible. They're doing a compendium set, and they've already raised $1.6 million for this. Just insane. They have 28 days to go. And if you haven't seen this, I'll put a link in the chat here for anybody that's interested. But this is a collection of the US and the UK Marvel comics, everything. And you can kind of get it how you want it. You can, if you don't want the UK stuff, you don't have to get it. If you don't want the US stuff, you don't have to get it. If you want both, if you want it physically, you can get it physically or digitally. I do think that the digital prices are a little high, but ultimately I think that they probably had a lot of licensing issues with this because, Skybound and Marvel had to probably work together for this. I don't know all the backstory behind it. I'm sure between Robert Kirkman or somebody from Skybound, they'll probably go into detail about how they were able to work all this out. Did not mean to go back all the way, but let's go back over to the Kickstarter here. So there's stretch goals for this. The next stretch goal is going to be patches, like a 4-inch Autobot Decepticon patch, if they hit 1.75 million, which at the rate this is going, it will. I mean, it went up $100,000. Like when I first started putting my notes together, like went up from 1.5 to 1.6 million. So I'm sure by tomorrow morning they'll have, this stretch goal unlocked. But you can go in and you'd see like what all is offered here. If you go into back of this project, you can see the different tiers. So the first one is just a retailer only tier. You can get a discount from Skybound and a backer kit. That's $50. The next one up is Ratchet for $60, where you can get the US digital compendiums. You get volume 1 and 2. That's you also get Skybound Insider's Point. Then there's Bumblebee. That's just the PDFs. So Ratchet's just the PDFs, and Bumblebee's just the PDFs of the UK. Then they have the Skywarp tier, which is you can get both the US and the UK for $120. Then they have the Ironhide tier, which you get volume 1 and 2 of the US and the UK as PDFs. And then you also get more Skybound Insider points. Then you get into the Laserbeak one. And what's interesting is, actually, wait, what's the $40 shipping? Oh, I'm mistaken. So the Ironhide tier is the US. Okay, I take that back. So the Ironhide tier is the US physical, but it's actually 190 because they want 40 shipping. And I'm sure these are going to be thick, heavy books. But, so on and so forth. With the Elita one that gets you everything. You get tech spec. You start to get more physical goods like tech spec cards and all. This is cool. I would like it. I did back the compendiums on Amazon. I think this is for the paperbacks. There's $60 there. I guess I got to check if there's the same things. But I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad that they've worked out the rights issues and they're getting these and they're making them really nice. I would love to have these, but just a little bit outside of my price range right now for what I prioritize in my collection. But I'm glad to see this be a success, and I hope that they do offer these in other ways, shapes, and forms, make them a little bit more digestible. But Just really, really cool that this exists, and it's a rousing success. I think it kind of speaks to just how well the Skybound stuff has been resonating with people, that you know, that they're doing this, and it's finding a new life. And yeah, even like the quote here from Daniel Warren Johnson, who I got to meet last summer, saying the original Transformers comics were the creative fuel of my entire childhood. And yeah, it really does show through in his work. So if you're interested in this, put a link in the chat. I'll edit this to put a link in the description as well. But really, really cool stuff. Now let's get into more cool stuff. We got some clarity on the next MPG, the Optimus Prime style generation. So first up, we get a scale for this guy. So a lot of people were speculating how big he would be, given what appeared to be a 5mm port on his upper arm here. And we got clarification from Takara Tomy that he's going to be 24 centimeters tall, or approximately 9.5 inches tall. So this puts him basically, kind of the scale with MP10. Let me just fact check myself here, just to see how tall he was, because I remember MP10 was in and around, yeah. So yeah, MP10 is about 9.5 inches tall. So this is about the same height as your MP10. And it's just kind of an everyman Optimus Prime. You get these pictures here. And it's interesting, too. These are all renders. And at first, I wasn't really feeling like how these hands look. But we'll hop over to the resin prototypes in just a second here. They did so pre-orders are already live. You can pre-order this guy on a lot of retailers. Amazon Japan has him. He's about 161 on the pre-orders over there. The places like BBTS and TF Source, they put him up for $199. I went on Hasbro Pulse, and I got him there for closer to this price. I think it was like after shipping was like $170 on Pulse. I'm a Prime collector. I got to get my masterpiece scale primes, and I'm really excited for this, just because, to me, yeah, as Stunning Brave saying, like, MP10 is still a great figure, and he holds the test of time. I mean, it's got this simplistic elegance to it, and I like that this is more of kind of like I said, an everyman's Prime, where you just look at this. It doesn't look like it hopped out of the cartoon, but it just looks like it could be a definitive Prime. It ticks the boxes of like comic Prime, toy Prime, the Generation Prime, the Siege Prime. It could fit anywhere and into anyone's collection. Do I want this to be the direction moving forward for Masterpiece? No, because I still want them to do Beast Wars. I still want them to finish like the tune accurate G1 stuff. There's a lot left for them to do. But I do think that this is a neat way of them offering a new Optimus Prime that has a more simplistic transformation. Because let me just reach over here real quick. Because, I just transformed an MP44 mold. Let me stop screen sharing here just for a second. And just the MP44 mold in general, right? Because I was just messing with this guy. Oop, he doesn't like to hold his gun, which is not fun. But this transformation, like, you get a very tune accurate looking Optimus Prime, right? This is the shattered glass version, right? But this is a nightmare to transform. And I see what they're going for with this, right? Because I think for a lot of people, they want a nice looking Optimus Prime in their collection, but the third party options are still a nightmare to transform. MP10 was a fun transformation, but the proportions really, really suffered, right? And, you had kind of like, and again, I'm not knocking on MP10. MP10's one of my favorite Transformers, period. Like, probably one of my all-time favorite Optimus Primes, but just a nightmare to transform MP44. And yeah, you have to when they come packed in truck mode. An angry Canadian. He's in Japan. He was showing me pictures of a store that had these, and I was like, man, it would be so cool just to see a stack. He showed me the picture, where it's just stacks of them. And I think that MP44, if you like were a collector, just kind of a casual fan, and you wanted an entry point, I think MP44 would turn a lot of people away from wanting more of this stuff. And I think what they're going for here is this balance between presence and fun. And I feel like as we've gotten more and more into Masterpiece, like that line has leaned towards presence, and fun has kind of gone out the window. Like once you get them into robot mode, they tend to be solid and they're posable, but the transformation just is not fun. And I think that's what they're going for with this. Again, they haven't really given anything other than PR speak that we haven't seen already, because the product description, we've read it before. Introducing Style Gen, a new interpretation of the transformation difficulty, proportions, details, movement, posing, vehicle play, weapon play, etc. in the MPG series, the next generation of the highest peak series of transfer. It's all buzzwords, right? I just think, they do say this is a more refined style than previous Masterpiece. But it does say transformation is the core of Transformers, and the new design aims for intuitive transformation so that you can enjoy the transformation from vehicle to robot over and over again. And just says it right there. I think legitimately they want this to be, hey, there's a lot of people out there that want a high-end collector's Optimus Prime, but they want to be able to transform it. They want to be able to have fun with it. And I think that's what they're going for here. And I think the success of this might change the direction of the MPG line. But I don't know. I can only speculate, because again, they're doing a lot of stuff within this line. We get some grayscale pictures here. It exists now as a resin prototype, and I think the hands look so much better in this than they do in those renders. And I really like the bulk of this. I like the silhouette. This just looks like a way more refined MP10, and that's great. This kind of looks like a definitive version of MP10, but for me it's more evocative of a comic Prime, an IDW Prime. This will be my Masterpiece comic Prime. Again, they're putting in the 5mm ports on him. I think, again, as I evidence with, wow, this guy can't hold his gun all that well. I think they're just kind of taking hey, what's wrong with the 5mm ports? Because, Studio Series Age of Primes, they're aimed at collectors in mind. Would that gel with people? Redesigning how these figures have weapon attachment, redesigning how they hold their weapons, having a little bit more of a toy functionality in a collector's product, and I think that's what they're going for here. I'd like to see what kind of articulations in this. Is this going to be more articulated than MP10? Because that's one thing that remains to be seen. I do love how clean the truck is. They did confirm that MP44's trailer is compatible with this guy. I wish the tires hit away, but that's not a deal breaker for a lot of people. And different incarnations of Prime have had the tires exposed. Hence, why I say he's going to be my comic Prime. And that's the thing is, in the comics, Prime's just so inconsistent. Sometimes he looks more like G1. Sometimes he looks very stylized. And I think that's kind of a cool thing here. And they are showing off here. It looks like 5mm connections for the ion cannon, and 5mm ports on the Energon blades. And I think that's fine. You can attach the ion cannon to the shoulder like the Diaclone toy. Obviously, because this is a resin prototype, they're not getting they're not going to be showing off the articulation, because resin can break really easy. But just showing how things port on and can store on them. I like the idea of being able to just have a Prime I can take off the shelf and mess with, and it's fun to handle and fun to mess with. And I think that's, you know, something that they see with the success of Studio Series and the Legacy line, the Siege line, bridging that gap between those collectors and MP scale collectors. Because I think, you know, a lot of people like me, like it's hard to give up the mainline stuff because, well, it's just so much fun to mess with those figures. And that's what I'm really hopeful for. But I just hope that this doesn't I'm glad the scale's still there, but I still want Takatomi to complete what they started with, like Masterpiece proper. Like, even looks like we're getting a new Matrix there. I don't think he'll be able to, maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think he'll be able to hold that Matrix properly still, because the grips are still too small. But yeah, I just think that this looks like a fun, sturdy, solid figure. And if he has ab crunch, he'll definitely be a big contender for like one of the all-time greatest primes. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing what the future of this line is and what this figure has in store. We won't know until next year because he's not coming out until 2026. But I am excited for it. As I mentioned, I did pre-order it, and I'm optimistic about what Takatomi's got in store for us. Next up, from Audley, these are kind of a contender with Blockies and Trumpeter and YOLO Park, but they have their more of a contender for YOLO Park. They've got their small, highly articulated posable kits. These things are about $15, and they're their Elite Alpha, or I'm sorry, their Alpha Action Elite series, and they're showing off an Optimus Prime. And I love the fact that he can actually hold his Matrix there, even though he's two-fingering it. And these are highly posable little sets. Come with a lot of options, little stand. They are only about $16. So really makes you wonder what the heck Hasbro was doing with the red line. Now, again, these are small figures, but if you wanted some non-transforming, highly articulated, pre-painted sets, there you go. They got a Shattered Glass Soundwave. I love the fact they actually gave him the headband. Lots of hand options. I love the fact he comes with Laserbeak and Ravage and the little cassettes and a miniature version of himself. And a Starscream. Even comes with the Coronation set, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you're interested in those, they can be. Believe a lot of the e-tailers have them up. I think you can get these through Show Z. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see these third-party officially licensed figures coming in at good prices, especially in this economy. I'm not going to talk tariffs. I don't want to get into that until anything definitively happens. I don't like talking any sort of politics on this channel, so I just really don't feel like getting into that. But I do like seeing these third-party, officially licensed third-party figures coming out. I've seen Blockies actually at my Walmart. I've actually picked up one of the sets. I got Bumblebee, or B127, blind bagged. They're all blind bagged, but these are $4 and change. And they're really good, and you put them together, they're just a lot of fun. And the plastic quality on these is so good. So I'm glad to see that they're doing that they're working with third-party companies, and the third-party companies are really putting out affordable, high-quality products. And as Mega T-Rex Raw comes in and says, Blockies are fun and addictive. And yes, I'm not trying to go too crazy with the Galaxy ones. I just picked up a couple of them, but I do have the Megatron version of the larger scale one coming in, because this was one of the most fun model kits I've put together ever. And I got this for $15 from Walmart, like insane. So I got to get the Megatron one. That's coming in, and I'm looking forward to putting that together. And then they'll go on both sides of my laptop. So, yeah. Those are from oddly, the Transformers Alpha Elite series. So, yeah, and these are about 13 centimeters tall. So about 5 inches tall. So again, it makes you wonder what the heck were they doing with red. And oh yeah, Angry Canadian, if you just want a good one-off figure, get that Flames Toys Rodimus. Like if you just want a figure that's got the presence, oh man, that's a contender for Fifth of the Year. Next up, this figure should be hitting relatively soon. I don't know how this dude's getting his stuff so early. I think he's out in Australia, but I'm not entirely sure. But Toys R Us has been getting like all of the, and that's RUSS, Toys R Us, over on YouTube. He's been getting these figures legitimately, it seems, but he's getting everything early. And he's got a early look at Blue Booster and Wingspan, which is the Sonic collaboration. And I gotta admit, I'm excited for this set too. I'm not like one of those Sonic fans that's creepy and weird. I've just been somebody that's enjoyed Sonic for his whole life. I love the movies, I love the games, but I'm no Christian. But I love the fact that we're getting this set, and it's Tails biplane and basically Sonic's car from the racing games. And he gives us a look at the scale. These are about deluxe size. He's got the Naruto compilation there, as well as the Party Wallop, which is kind of like a Voyager leader scale. And back there's Ectotron, showing how these stack up. And they look like really fun figures. They're simple. And I'm looking forward to getting those, and the vehicle modes look really good. The only knock I have is I hate clip-on wheels. I wish they had pinned on the wheels on Blue Boost there, but otherwise I think these look pretty darn good, and they look pretty fun. More size comparisons there, so larger deluxes. And to go on that Target sale, you can actually get these right now if you pre-order them on Target's site. With that sale, they come out to like $35. So one thing to consider, and they were still in stock. Next up, I don't normally talk about Earthrise here. I'm sorry, Earthspark, not Earthrise. But this comes from Omega the Real over on Twitter, and they've got a look at the Earthspark Soundwave. And this just looks to be a pretty neat figure all around. It's kind of evocative of Cybertron Soundwave in a deluxe scale. And just showing off these pictures here, this looks done. There it is in the box. And it just looks like it's a solid little figure that poses really well. I believe, yeah. There's pictures of the alt mode. Apparently this thing has a pretty impressive wingspan as it completely unfolds. The legs unfold and creates this big wingspan. So there's the wingspan next to Commander Class Optimus Prime. Armada Optimus Prime. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. And even goes in to show that the chest opens up, through the transformation. Yeah, no tapes or anything you can go in there, but just for anybody wondering. So pretty cool stuff. Again, like Earthspark's never been my jam, but this one might be a neat Soundwave to pick up. I can say that like the Cyberverse Soundwave was pretty well done, and then the one that they had for Robots in Disguise, the Robots in Disguise that followed Prime, that Soundwave was good as well. I mean, Hasbro's always kind of given Soundwave a lot of love, but that wingspan, just that's insane. That just it unfolds to be that big, which is just impressive for a kid's line for a budget figure. Then getting into Target, as I was mentioning, this week Target has 30% off all Transformers. So if you're able to find, or if you're able to pre-order anything there, yeah, check out Target, because this will save you some bucks, and it doesn't have to be in stock. If you want to go in, like I was talking about, pre-ordering that Legacy Evolution DevCon reissue, you can get it for $17.49. That figure was insane on the secondary market. I kind of want to get a second one, so when I see Michael Charles Hill again, I can get him to sign one. Also, too, like, you can get leaders for $38. You can get that Legacy United 4-pack for $56. The Sonic collaboration set, $35. So if there's anything on the horizon that you want to pre-order, yeah, you do have to pay up front, but you'll save yourself some bucks in the long run. Hey, we got Fire Talks hanging out. Good to see you, buddy. So yeah, check that out. You get the Target app, and then also too, I recommend getting the app because you can go in if there's any circle deals, you can apply those relatively easily as well. And next up, this is something we never really talk about here, but these are just really impressive. I've seen these covered. Deluxe covered them earlier today in his news segment, and I just thought these were insane. These are things that if I won the lottery, there would be signs. But Premium Collectable Studio, they've been kind of making a name for themselves in the statue market, and a lot of people have been sharing that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle statue, the movie one where they're like coming out of the sewer. And that went up on pre-order on BBTS. People were going nuts, and then they saw the price. They're like, "Oh no!" But it's like a life-size 1-to-1 sewer lid cover with the 4 turtle heads coming out of it. I said turtle heads. But first up, we got their Jet Convoy Edition Optimus Prime, and this is just kind of like a mishmash of like all the Prime designs. Like it's this kind of like a little bit of Bay, a little bit of G1, a little bit of IDW, a little bit of just a little bit of the the War for Cybertron games. It's just like kind of a I don't know, quintessential Optimus Prime. And there's a lot of options with this. I mean, he's got the jet wing that obviously looks like it's formed from the trailer. You can give him Megatron's arm if you so choose. So a little bit of Skybound influence there. Energon's sword or axe can go on. And this just looks insane. 34 inches tall, 40 inches wide, 32 inches deep. You need to have a lot of space for this. Can of soda there in the bottom left to show you. I believe they call these museum scale. But just absolutely insane. I'm not a statue guy, but if I had like if I was loaded, yeah, I'd consider this. If you want the Jet Convoy Edition, that's $4,499. Or if you want them without that, it's $2,500 about. But very cool. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a statue collector and is like, yeah, I gotta have that. Not to be outdone, they also have a Devastator, which is $3,900. And yeah, this is another big boy. Not sure how I feel about the drill arm. He doesn't have options from what I can tell. This is a whopping 45 inches tall, 34 inches deep, and 41 and a half inches wide. And I love the fact that, okay, there are some swap outs. I take that back. So if you order from them, they do have a swap out left arm. They have different head options. I think it's funny that you can get like a brush and gloves for dusting. They throw that in there. Hey, Snap, what's going on, man? And yeah, this is insane. And the most insane of the three. Yeah, so Friday, the museum scale collectible statue for Unicron goes on pre-order. And this thing looks absolutely insane. Now, I've got a couple Unicrons in my collection. I've got the Studio Cell, which is probably the most accurate Unicron you can get. That's a little bit on the smaller side. That's still a big figure. And I also have the HasLab. So I'm good on Unicrons. However, this is probably the best looking. It's a statue, but I still would say this is probably the best looking Unicron I've ever seen anybody offer. I don't know like what the heck he's sitting on. Like, did he just like carve planets into a throne? I love the concept behind that. I have no clue what the concept behind it is, but it's just badass, man. The sculpt, the wings, just everything about this is just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. And just that face sculpt there, it's kind of even has like that Orson Welles scowl going on. But yeah, just absolutely nuts. The level of detail is sick. The painting is sick. Like, yeah, if I had the funds, I'd be all in for this. This one, 33.25. Very, very expensive. He's a 28-inch tall sculpt, 38 inches wide. It doesn't say how deep this sculpture is, but still completely badass stuff there. And these are from Premium Collectable Studio. I'm sure they'll probably also be up on BBTS. I'm sure after the pre-order goes live, they'll probably say if there's anything additional coming with this. And the pre-order is just early bird pricing. So it's going to go up to $3,500 in 23 days. Again, I don't think anybody, myself included, is like, oh man, I got to hop on this. But still, cool thing that it exists. And if you do get this, it won't be coming out until somewhere between April or June next year. So it sounds like they're all being made to order. Cool stuff coming from Premium Collectable Studio. And then we'll get into our third-party stuff. We got some cool stuff. First up, this is a site that is relatively new, and Larkin's Lair put them on my radar last year. And this is alphatoyland.com. They're located in Texas, I believe, and I can't remember what Asian site they work with, but they're like an American distributor, and their prices are really good. They're close to like Shozi or TF Safari. And this is really cool because they actually have a web exclusive. So NewAge Romulus, which is their take on like a Studio Series G1 Megatron that has a gun mode. They've got an exclusive version. So this is an all black version of this. This is evocative of the old Microman mold that was used to make Megatron, that was done in all black. And then Takara Tomy did a e-hobby and a BotCon Japan exclusive in the early 2000s. That was just kind of a reissue in G1 packaging. So they've kind of taken that deco and applied it to the Romulus mold, and they're calling it Remus. And, you get both head options. So if you want to have them have like the tune head, and you could maybe argue that with the black helmet, he's more of like a comic Megatron. So I can see people wanting that for their collection, especially if you've picked up some of the Hasbro comic ones that they put out, like Straxus and Grimlock and Shockwave. I think this would fit right in. I kind of wish they did a cell shaded version in that deco. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, this is a good figure. I actually got Romulus from Larkin. He had picked up a second, so he's like, "Hey, do you want him?" I was, "Yeah, I'll get him." Again, that's also one of my figures of the year. I love that they didn't just lazy out and give him the purple Energon. I love that they went red. They also gave him a silver sword. The one that came with the the toy deco Romulus was a flat gray, so I like that they actually went the extra mile and gave him a silver sword here. And there he is in his gun mode. You can see he's all black with a kind of more of a wood grain handle, brown handle, not wood grain, but and this is going to be $115, so the regular price that basically all the other sites have them for. It's a NewAge product, so they're kind of price fixed. Another thing that's really cool, I watched Toy Spotlight. If you've never checked out Toy Spotlight, highly recommend Captain Kyle. He does pretty good Transformers reviews. He does a lot of stuff that nobody else is covering. He does KOs and he does vintage. He does the main line and he does the occasional third party figure. But he put this KO onto my radar, and this is on AliExpress. It's actually cheaper on eBay, way cheaper on eBay. But I put the AliExpress listing on here, and this is a unofficial knockoff reissue of G1 Megatron. So if you ever wanted a G1 Megatron, this is your opportunity to get one. Now, it is a knockoff that's way more expensive than it should be. But he did vouch that the quality is there. Like, he basically said this is a very well-made knockoff, good quality chrome, good quality stickers. I used to have the re-release from back in the early 2000s. I had the 2003 reissue. I wish I still had it. That was lost to time. But check eBay, because these are floating around. What the tell is on these is, if the box says transforms from Walder P-38 weapon to robot and back, you know it's the new reissue, the new KO reissue. That's your tell. But if you've ever wanted to have one, this might be the best opportunity. Though I don't want to speak too soon, because who knows? They might do a missing link one, and then I believe Bingo Toys is doing their own missing links with Grimlock and all. So I would probably say maybe wait for that. But if you do want an authentic looking G1 Megatron with the styrofoam inserts and everything, you know, this could be a good option for you. Next up, we got a tease from DNA Designs, and they are taking Studio Series Sentinel Prime, and they're doing an upgrade kit for him. From what I can tell here, it looks like he's going to be getting a new shield. I don't know like what exactly is going to be different about the shield, but on the official one, that's not as spiky. It looks like he might be getting new feet pieces, because in the battle mode, you can't splay out the feet. He's definitely getting his double-sided blade, which the Studio Series doesn't have. And it looks like maybe he'll get extensions for the missile pods on his calves there. It's funny how DNA does these silhouettes, and then like literally 2 days later, you get the full reveal. So I'm looking forward to this, because I think that he definitely needs that. It's a crying shame that they couldn't take the wing kibble and give him his double-bladed sword in one way, shape, or form. It looks like maybe he'll be coming with new wings too, because I don't see the wings poking up over his shoulders. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what DNA does here, and hopefully it's not too expensive. Over on TF Safari 115 Workshop, they've got an upgrade kit, and this is in stock for Vector Prime. And you're getting new shin pieces. So I love the way they did this, where those clips from G-Haxis get utilized to hold a new shin piece in proper form. And you can see how they look there. It's not perfect to the Cybertron design, but it's way better than just like the exposed wires that G-Haxis had. And, you know, that's how it looks. This all comes completely finished. And I like the way that it looks in the vehicle mode quite a bit. And you can see here just how everything fits on. It's a $16 kit. So I think this will be worthwhile. I might actually pick this up just because it looks neat, and it fixes my main complaint with Vector Prime. And 115 Workshop also has a weapon set for Chop Shop and Barrage, giving them new weapons. And I think these look pretty slick, to be honest. And I like the fact that they're modular. I think that's pretty sweet. And showing how they store on there. So you can store all the weapons on there. And yeah. These are a little bit pricier, but as you can see, they're big weapons. I love the fact with Chop Shop, you can combine all the weapons together. That's pretty awesome. These are $23.99 over on their site. But looking pretty cool. Did not mean to do the visual search. Thank you, Microsoft. And then we get a tease from Chigo King. first and foremost, there's a finished Spectre General, which is the BotCon exclusive for this year, which is their Shattered Glass or Diaclone Ultra Magnus, the that X-Transbot stack mold. But behind him, that appears to be Make Toys Highbrow. Does this mean Make Toys is finally doing something other than their Seekers? Or is this just a X-Transbots Highbrow? It looks a lot like the Make Toys one, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll probably get a reveal at BotCon 2025. And then also, we're getting a reissue of the, and I just pulled up Show Z, but you can also get this over, I think, on Magic Square's site. The G2 version of Attila, which is DX9's Menasor, that is getting a full reissue. Awesome combiner. For me, I'm doing Fans Toys as my individuals, and I've got the Attila as my combined Menasor. Very solid, sturdy, stable, a lot of presence. So if you're interested in that, there's pre-orders up for Capone. I think Magic Square has the full set. Let me fact check myself on that one. But if you for whatever reason you want a masterpiece scale, if you want a masterpiece scale Menasor, maybe it's NewAge that has them. I can't remember. But yeah, no, it is Magic Square that's selling them. But they don't have the G2 one up on their site. That being said, you get the whole set for the cost of just Fans Toys Dead End. And I will say this set's fully worth it. So I'm sure the G2 version will probably be in and about the same price when it goes up there. I think other sites have them for like $500 for the whole set, but yeah, definitely a cool offering. Then to round things off, we get a new company, Mech Toys Small Scale Planets Former Primus. This is a nearly 9-inch tall small scale Primus. I'm not sure if this is a company that's connected to anything else. Over on Third Party Unlimited, they've got they link to the TF Upgrader network, which has better pictures. You can actually zoom in. But the planet mode it comes with a stand, kind of like a globe. And it stands about like 6 inches tall. I love this as a display option, right? If you like wanted a tiny Primus to, that maybe Unicron could hold, or you just want to have them like on your desk. I think that's pretty cool. And he unfolds and opens up to be like a 9-inch tall robot. Obviously, he's a shell former. There's not much engineering involved. But I love the fact that the stand becomes a shield and kind of a scythe weapon if you want it. The detail on here is pretty good. But here's the kicker. If you go and you translate this price, this 36, well, the full price is 90 RM, which I think is Myanmar. But when I did the currency conversion, this is coming out to about $20. So I'm sure on sites like Show Z, this is going to be relatively inexpensive for anybody that wants it. I mean, I can't really say this is a legend scale figure because, well, he's not really a legend scale figure. He's way too small to be that. But I don't know. I just think that's a neat thing, like an almost 9-inch tall Primus. Hey, if you just want like a small Primus, there you go. I'm curious if they'll do a Unicron, but still, this is pretty neat. I'm looking forward to seeing people get this in hand. I'm not a Legends collector, but I think this is just kind of neat. Or if you don't have the space for a large figure, right, and you just want to have Primus represented on your shelf. So, Princeton said just bought one on Show Z for $20 and free shipping. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'll be curious to see like what people think of this when it's out, and it looks like it's pretty much done. So I can imagine this shipping relatively soon. In fact, let's check it out on Show Z to see if they have a date. Because this is the Mech Toys Transformer Primus. So let's check and see what he's showing over there. So here we go. Yep, there's the listing on Show Z, which just says coming soon. But again, I love seeing this stuff coming out that's like affordable, right? It's like people that aren't getting, like people are getting priced out of the main line and priced out of Masterpiece, and we've covered some expensive stuff, but I love the fact that stuff like this exists. There's options for people. So yeah, definitely cool stuff. And oh yeah, Stunning Brave saying he's got pictures of the scavenger, so let's check that out. Oh, wow. So, yeah, Stunning Brave sent me a picture of the X-Transbot Scavenger. And that's looking pretty darn good. That's a lot cleaner than the Fans Toys by a mile. I have the Fans Toys, man, and that thing is, in its individual bot mode, it is ugly. I can see a lot of people getting these to be their bot mode Constructicons, because that's a good-looking scavenger. And I'm also impressed by X-Transbots at like how quickly they're getting these things out. They're not dragging their heels on it. I mean, I mentioned Dead End earlier when talking about Attila, but it's just, say what you will about X-Transbots, but they finished their Menasor. Really, they just need to get Blades and Hotspot out. I don't know what's holding up their Defensor, because that's going to be my combined Defensor. And they're moving at a pretty good pace with their Constructicons, and their Constructicons look really good. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for our third party stuff tonight. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what's gonna come out of. Oh, actually, wait, nope. There's an ARM mode. There is an ARM mode. Holy crap, that is impressive. That is really impressive. My only concern, and this is the problem I had with the Menasor, was that the hand kind of spun a little bit. So I'm hoping that like they had a lot of lessons learned from their Menasor, in terms of like the body parts, like obviously the extra parts you needed to make a combiner. And yeah, I just hope it's a nice sturdy piece, because they're not like, that's the crazy thing is Fans Toys is kind of doing almost an all-in combiner for theirs, which was unexpected. And here that's definitely not part of it. They're doing more of the parts forming element. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how it all pans out. And yeah, X-Transbots and MMC will have the best Constructicons for bot mode. I agree. I'm leaning more towards the MMC because I love MMC as a company, but I feel like what I'm seeing out of the X-Transbots, they're more accurate, and they're more tune accurate, whereas like the MMC stuff appears to be a little bit more stylized. But there's some really cool and crazy engineering in the MMC stuff. I think that the Fans Toy stuff is probably, maybe the Devastator will be like where it's at, but the bot modes and the vehicle modes have been pretty weak so far. But now that'll wrap it up for the third party stuff and our coverage for tonight. So thank you to everybody who came in and hung out with us tonight. As I mentioned earlier, if you are into the gaming content, check out in the link in the description below my link tree. You'll get a link to Maz's channel, where I've got different videos that I've edited for him, as well as I'm doing his intros. Also part of Grokking on Dogs. I'm on there every Sunday with Lethal Lightning, the Cream NATO, Maza if he's not working, John Connors, Nazmir. And we have a lot of fun talking games. Been a lot of Switch 2 stuff coming out. I've got like a huge document where I'm trying to compile, because nothing can stay static. Like, we don't have anything definitive. All the news is changing all the time. So if you want to stay up to date with gaming coverage, go ahead and check us out. We have a lot of fun. It's chaotic. You get a lot of that Australian humor over there. So definitely consider checking that out. And I'll have an update. I'll probably post when Lance and I are going to do the next tier list. It would probably be pretty soon, and I want to get some people on the channel just to do some interviews and just, you know, do kind of like what Deluxe does with the Around 30. And I've got some other things cooking up there. I'm working on just dusting so I can do a 2025 collection tour. That'll be around the corner. So, you know, we'll have some stuff coming out other than 0 Hour. But anyway, thank you everybody who hung out. If you haven't already, hit that like button if you liked tonight's episode. If you're not already subscribed, consider hitting that subscription button and ringing the notification bell. And if you aren't watching on the live, leave a comment below. Let me know if there's anything you're looking forward to. If you picked up anything cool recently, or if you've got any thoughts or feelings about MPG 17. I want to know. I'm curious how people are feeling about that. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I hope you all have a great week ahead of you, and I'll catch you all on the next one. 0 out.